Okay. God King.
You're damn right our values are misaligned. And I want to be clear that shaving with a Jeremy's razor won't actually make you look more like me.
You're giving me fierce, you're giving me power.
Could make you look more like this guy, though. And it's not just Harry's either. Gillette razors used to be the best a man could get. But if you've had enough of the woke bullshit, and you're tired of paying companies like Harry's and Gillette to hate you, they'd be if they had. Harry's Razors doesn't want your business. I do. They seem to hate you. And I can't say that I love you, but I don't mean you any specific harm.
There are some people who loved the Gillette ad, mostly because they believe in whatever cause that they will propagate. Because most companies are afraid to come out as conservative than they are companies that are willing to come out as whatever they are defining as liberal these days. So these woke companies now, they will have to think twice when they think about alienating conservatives.
Because you know how they did with all these other conservative like social media websites that try to come up, but you know, the Amazons of the world and the Googles still could actually call the shots, and they stopped that.
I think conservative values have never been mainstream from the beginning.
Because they're not sexy, they're not attractive. Okay, God King.
Is this McLaren?
Do you remember when there were two genders and only one and a half of them had to shave their mustaches? Oh, hi. I'm Jeremy Boring, CEO and God King of the Daily Wire. Harry's Razors used to advertise on our shows. They're a great product, and we were happy to do it. That's before some peon who works for me went and said that boys are boys and girls are girls. And that was just too much for Harry's. They condemned our views. Views held by millions of Americans and virtually every human who's walked the planet until about 15 minutes ago as inexcusable. And they dropped their ads from our network because of what they called values misalignment. You're damn right our values are misaligned. And it's not just Harry's either. Gillette razors used to be the best a man could get. Then they decided that men are too toxic. Unless you're the kind of man who teaches his daughter to shave her beard. If that makes sense to you, keep buying Gillette.
Who was teaching little girls to shave their beards?
No. The idea is that because you see, Harry's dropped the Daily Wire because of their views on gender. They were saying that there are only two genders. So in this case where someone can be non-binary and someone can be a transgender and whatever it is, in the case of someone who is transitioning from a man to a female, they are obviously going to still have, their beard growing and they have to shave. So they are a woman, but they are shaving. So he's saying that men are toxic. Men are not toxic unless you're the kind of man that teaches their daughter how to shave, in reference to the transitioning part of it, I guess. Still, a strong one-liner. Although we don't condone any kind of homophobia.
But if you've had enough of the woke bullshit, and you're tired of paying companies like Harry's and Gillette to hate you, then buy my new razor instead.
Shut up and shave.
Jeremy's razors. Yes, they're real.
Shut up and dribble.
Yes, they're fabulous. But Jeremy, you say, You're a spelt silver fox with a salt and pepper beard that's the envy of lesser men.
Salt
You're
and
damn right
pepper
I am.
beard.
Salt and pepper beard that is in the envy of lesser man. I mean, it means the grayish and blackish, salt and pepper.
Yeah.
All
He's
right.
got away with words.
And I want to be clear that shaving with a Jeremy's razor won't actually make you look more like
Yes,
me.
you're giving me fierce. You're giving me power.
Could make you look more like this guy, though.
Oh, Jack Dindy.
Yeah,
That's the most
looking like a
homoerotic
Greek
moment
god
you'll
out
ever
here.
get from a Jeremy's razor commercial. What kind of man shaves with a Jeremy's razor? I don't know. How about cowboys, firefighters, those guys that shot Osama bin Laden? I mean, no, none of those guys have ever even heard of a Jeremy's razor, but
Guys, that shot.
imagine how much more manly they'd be if they had.
I don't know what that's about.
Smoky Mike
Right
and
now,
the God King.
you're probably wondering if this whole thing is
no
a
idea
joke.
who that is.
Sure it is. That doesn't mean it isn't real, or that it won't be the best shave of your life. Harry's Razors doesn't want your business. I do. They seem to hate you, and I can't say that I love you, but I don't mean
At least
you
he's
any
honest.
specific harm.
Yeah?
Okay.
That's all we ask.
Our country's in trouble. Conservatives are being canceled by Hollywood, the media, universities, and now Harry's Razors. Stop giving your money to woke corporations who don't think you deserve their product. Give it to me instead.
I mean, we gotta get.
Head over to
You gotta
IHateHarrys.com
give
and
someone
pre-order
money.
your Founders Series razor and shaving cream set today.
Oh my God. What do you think?
Oh God, that's different. I think they went for the spectacular. It's captivating. You don't know what's gonna happen next. I know there's a big audience, there's a big fan base, there's a big political divide out there that will easily eat this up. So I know
that's-
they're guaranteed of
what
customers
I-
once they
that's what-
start rolling out.
That's what I wanted to ask. That how much of it do you think you are going to like the ad if it aligns with your perception of the world with regards to social views, political views, and so on? For example, there are some people who loved the Gillette ad mostly because they believe in whatever cause that they were propagating. And I feel like when it comes to conservatism, which the Daily Wire is all about, there is a very limited supply of that, because most companies are afraid to come out as conservative than they are companies that are willing to come out as whatever they are defining as liberal these days.
And the thing is, man, it's a shrewd business move, and it's the same one that the liberal companies or the liberally influenced companies have been pursuing, to say, if you know that there is a 50-50 split politically in the country's political temperament, just really showing the side or one half of it that you're for, whatever it is, whether left or right, whichever, you're guaranteed of customers, no questions asked. And you were probably not going to get those customers if you were pretty lukewarm or just in the middle.
Yeah, there's definitely some aspect of shock marketing involved in this wokeness, that if we put an ad that is so outrageous to enrage the other side, that will get even more eyeballs because of the reactions and the counter reactions to it. And in the case for the woke movement, right, they will release an ad that is so revolting to people who are conservative or on the right, and they get more eyeballs. But people on the right, they don't have an exact they cannot say, okay, now that Gillette is signaled that they don't like me, they don't like my political opinions and my views, where do I buy razors? I have nowhere else to buy razors. I will have to still buy from Gillette. And now that Jeremy and the Daily Wire have created an actual alternative of a company that aligns with some people's political views. So these woke companies now, they will have to think twice when they think about alienating conservatives, because now conservatives have options. A while ago, they didn't have options. So you might hate what they are doing, but there is an option. And
the free market coming through with options. This is actually how we ended discrimination. And so,
the free market, competition of the market.
You can't really discriminate a certain level of a certain demographic or minority of people, even majority of people. In this case, to be honest, we're really, looking at close to 50 or 45% of the country, and that just was being ignored because they didn't have an alternative. In this particular field, also, it's pretty difficult for whoever is Big Brother there to shut them down, because you know how they did with all these other conservative like social media websites that try to come up, but the Amazons of the world and the Googles still could actually call the shots, and they stopped that.
I think there are two approaches here. You can start your own thing, right? But you can never, there's no way you are going to replace Hollywood kind of movies and their culture by starting your own. But what conservatives need to do is almost infiltrate those organizations and try to influence from within. Because here's the other thing that is also kind of difficult. Conservative values have never been mainstream. From the beginning, they've never been. As from the beginning of governments and
because they're not sexy, they're not attractive.
They've never. So they
don't sound like being careful, like caring or loving.
Exactly. It would be unreasonable for us to expect that we're going to see more companies espousing conservative values and views and so on. No, the world is always going to be leaning left, at least socially. That's how it has always been. But some pushback is required to maintain a balance so that these guys will not drive off the cliff, because that's what usually happens. When it happens, ends up in a communistic despotism like we've seen other countries do, and something drastic has to happen to remove that. And I hope it will not end up there. And I'm going to start buying Jeremy Boring's razors.
Well, that was the video, guys. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a winning strategy? The Daily Wire can actually infiltrate the market and basically take a nice market share of the razor blade industry, or they're probably doomed to fail before they even start. The two decent blogs signing out. Peace.
Right. Okay.